Hey, I'm going in just for a few on four unassuming benefits of life coaching that most people either overlook, discount, don't have any idea or clue about because they've never worked with a life coach themselves and would not have the like don't have the nexus to it, right? For lack of a better word. So if you happen to be here with me live, do me a favor, say hey D, so that I know that you're here. I know who's here with me. Do me a favor, say hey, and let me know. If you happen to be catching the replay, do me a favor and type replay in the comments, and I will come back through and show you some love. So if you're here with me live, say hey. I see a couple of people are on. I can't tell who it is, but either way, I'm gonna dive in really quick. And if you know somebody that has maybe been talking about or thinking about working with a life coach, do me a favor and share this with them. This might give them some perspective to help them crystallize on the decision that they want to make. Maybe even consider working with me. I may be their person. You never know, and they could be 1 degree separated from me through you. So I say all that to say thank you for watching this. I know that you are not here by happenstance. And I don't take it for granted at all whatsoever. And if for some reason you don't know who I am, I'm Danielle the coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach. I primarily help high achieving entrepreneurs that are still juggling a 9 to 5 to create their corporate exit strategy so that they can ultimately quit with confidence and create and live the life of their wildest dreams. So if you've been considering life coaching or you've been desiring some kind of help or support, right, with making that type of major life transition, but you've been feeling stuck, you're not sure which talents, what skills, what abilities you can monetize. You know that you have a lot of opportunity available to you. You're multifaceted, multi-skilled. You're an absolute go-getter. Um, there's so much that you can do, but you in this season you don't want to do the wrong thing in air quotes. You don't want to make the wrong decision, and you don't want to just do just any old thing next. You want to do something in this next season for yourself that has impact. You want to do something that brings you joy, fulfills you, right? That has you rolling out of the bed most mornings. Something that also kind of comes somewhat easy to you because it's a natural gift, but also maybe allows you to leverage some skill or skills that you have. But you desire like ease and flow while making impact and loving what it is that you do because you've fallen out of love with it. So if that's you, I want to invite you to click the link in the comments and book a free strategy session. Like, you don't have to continue banging your head against the wall to figure it out yourself. Like, I'm here, been here, been showing up for you. I don't know, maybe you haven't noticed, maybe because it wasn't your time, but if that is you, like, let's have a conversation. Click the link in the chat and fill out the questionnaire, and then we'll have a conversation, okay? So, four unassuming things, or four unassuming benefits of life coaching that I wanted to share with you. And why I want to share this is because, one, I don't think that there is enough conversation around life coaching in spaces that I take up, in my communities, um, in the Black community, in the millennial community. I know that there's a lot of conversation, and therapy is now a household term, and I think that's amazing. It's absolutely necessary. I swear by it, right? But therapy and coaching are not the same, right? First cousins. They are not the same. And both are necessary. And you can have, and I say should have, both at the same time, especially for my high achieving go getters just like you, right? I'm not going to talk about the dichotomy between those two on this live. That's a conversation for another day that I will revisit at some point. However, I've been talking about a lot about what I do. I'm a life coach this, a life coach that, spreading the good gospel of life coaching because it's important to me and it's something I believe in, something that I have been supported by in my time, right? When I was going through my mid-career crisis myself, and I also have subscribed myself to perfecting the craft of coaching to help to come back and help my fellow go-getters dig themselves, pull them out of the quicksand that is a career that's escaping them, that no longer serves them, and probably one in which they have fulfilled their purpose assignment and they're just taking up space unnecessarily so. And so, because I know that life coaching is not a household term per se, as much as maybe some other support measures are, I feel the need to kind of peel back the layers and kind of help those that I attract, those connected to me, those that I'm divinely assigned to, that are assigned to me, to learn more about life coaching in general, but then also like some of the inner workings with kind of like outside looking in, right? And so in this particular video, I'm kind of taking you on the back side of it, kind of reverse engineering. And so there's four unassuming benefits that I want to share today. There's a plethora, but there's four that I'm going to pull out right here and right now. So the first one is, and they're in no particular order, but the first one is expanded self-awareness. So a lot of times clients will come to me with a problem, right? They feel stuck. They're frustrated, they're overwhelmed, everything is getting on their nerves. They feel like life is having its way with them instead of them controlling life. There's a problem that they want to solve. There's external forces that have gotten them to the point of feeling uncomfortable, to the point that it's severe discomfort, and they gotta do something about it. They want to do something about it. They want to fix the problem. And truth be told, I love to hear it because that lets me know that you're my most ideal client, right? But the beauty about the work that we do is we don't focus on the problem. We focus on you and how you're showing up in relation to the problem. And this is going to piggyback into, this is going to connect to number two, but I'm going to sit here for a second. I had a conversation with a former client today, like a catch-up call. I like to check in. A lot of times my clients, when they are complete their time working with me, life is still happening. Things are still moving. Things are still blossoming. They have taken their expanded awareness and their tools that I support them with, that I introduce them to. They take that into their everyday life, and their lives are never the same, right? So they report back, and it's unsolicited, which I absolutely love. Which means that I'm forever a part of your life if you'll have me, if we work together. And so this particular client is great about sharing her wins, just amazingness that's happening. Like life is a total 180 from where we started. And so one of the things that she shared with me was um, she finds herself like kind of catching herself in the moment, and even in some of the things that she says. And it has a lot to do with, well, it has everything to do with the work that we did together. Like she's now conscious of ways that she was used to show up that were not as powerful as she may have desired. So now she's in a space where when she's in important meetings, when she's having conversations, and maybe she's using certain words and terms and phrases that are disempowering for her, it's there's like a gut check in the moment, and she immediately corrects her language and puts everybody involved on notice that I didn't mean that. This is what I mean. This is what I'm saying, right? Her self-awareness is expanded. Before, she didn't even see herself in it. She's just going through the motions. Her language is her language, and people are accustomed to her showing up the way that she showed up, right? Not as powerfully as she could, until we started working together, and I made her aware of some things and kind of helped shine the light on them, but also helped her to be able to see herself kind of outside of herself in certain situations, and empowering her to make a decision on, is this how I really want to show up? And the thing about working with me is you always get to choose. You always get to choose. I'm going to assist you in seeing outside of yourself. But at the end of the day, you always get to choose. And if, as long as you choose how you're showing up and you're not succumbing to external influence, which dictates how you show up, as long as you choose, I support you, right? So there's this sense of expanded self-awareness Not even a sense, it's expanded self-awareness. In the way that I structure our time spent, I always say, like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. You cannot unsee it. It's a gift and a gift, not even a gift and a curse. It's a gift and a gift. And so the expanded self-awareness allows you to make different, I won't say better, but different decisions as life is happening, as business is happening, as you're showing up in your workplace, right? As you're serving your clients in your own business, and as you're having and approaching difficult conversations, as you are making major decisions, you see yourself and how you're showing up. And you kind of sometimes hear me I'm on your shoulder, in your ear. I've had clients tell me that too in the moment. Like, I heard your voice, Danielle. I heard your voice, and I'm like, hey. And if that helps you make the most powerful decision that you can live with, that you're confident with, I'll be that little person or voice on your shoulder. So the first unassuming benefit to life coaching is expanded self awareness. The second one is a shift in the spaces, a noticeable shift in the spaces that you show up. Remember, I first said clients come with problems that they want to, something is the problem, something is affecting me, right? I want to change. I'm no longer comfortable here. Like, how do I fix the problem? And my sweet spot, right, is we don't focus on the problem. We focus on you and how you're showing up in relation to the problem and what that looks like. And what that looks like is different for everybody, because everybody's life and lived experience is different. However, what one thing that is the same is that we focus on you, because you are what we can control. So once we begin doing the work on you and you have that expanded sense of self-awareness, right? You not only begin to see yourself differently, but you also see outside of you differently too. And so you can show up in the same spaces that you were showing up prior to enlisting me, um, as a part of your now personal board of directors. You're showing up in the same spaces, but you're seeing through a different lens. You're seeing through a different filter. And the beauty of it is that nothing in the spaces could have changed. And most times nothing changes, but you change. And that is the Kickstarter to everything else beginning to shift, right? Because you're showing up differently, you're making different decisions, you're enforcing boundaries, you're prioritizing self-care, you are advocating for yourself and maybe even others in a different way. You're showing up differently, and because you're making different decisions internally and externally, it's then having a different effect on the world outside of you. You are the change. And that's the beautiful thing about it. The third unassuming benefit of life coaching is partnership. And so, like I was saying earlier, and I promise I'm still not going to go there right now, but there's a difference between therapy and coaching, right? There's a difference between coaching and having a conversation with one of your homegirls, one of your homeboys. There's a difference, right? I posted a meme earlier, um, and it's Tom. What is it? Tom and Jerry. Whichever one is the cat, right? The cat. I can't even remember. This is a shame. Um, so the cat is like, and there's fire, flames behind them, and the text on the meme says, when you're telling someone a story and they interrupt you and they say, oh yeah, that happened to me too, and they take over the conversation and begin telling their story and how like it just burns you up. Working with me as a coach is different from all of those other scenarios, right? And when I talk about partnership, it's a partnership, but it's really an uneven situation, right? Because it's not about me. It's all about you. This is one of the spaces, probably one of the few, if probably only spaces that you can have where you would have having a conversation, right? Problem solving, but it's 150% about you. I am partnering with you to help get you from where you were when you hadn't enlisted my support and my help yet, to where you want to be. Like, I'm all in support of you. This is not a swap stories type of deal. Like, let's kiki, let's kick it. Like, no, like, I'm here in support of you, whatever's going on with you, and helping you peel back the layers, to get to the root of why you want what you want. And also to the core of what it's going to take for you to get to where you want to get to. The internal shifts and the external shifts, the decisions that you got to make, the difficult conversations that you may have to have. Like, I'm supporting you through all of that. And it's a partnership to get you from where you were when we started, before we started working together, to ultimately where you want to be, having with clarity, with confidence, and then positioned to calibrate, right? Because you are moving your own cheese. And trust and believe, when you move your own cheese, you're knocking your stuff off the wall and other people's too. So life is going to happen, but yet, as opposed to other people, you have support baked in. And it's a different flex. So that partnership is an unassuming benefit of life coaching. And then last but not least, the fourth unassuming benefit of life coaching is peace of mind. It's peace of mind. And this is something that I'll talk about ad nauseum. There is nothing like, and I know from experience, but I also know from my lived experience in working with coaches, and from my clients' experience in having me as a part of their personal board of directors, having me as their coach, right? As life is happening, already having me in place, having my coach in place as life is happening. I'm not having to go and search and try to find someone to support me. It's like, no, there's peace of mind when I have an advocate that I already have a relationship with that is here to support me to and through my breakthrough. It There's peace of mind that you get from untangling the web of all of the things that you have going on, right? Imagine, I talk a lot about juggling like multiple balls, because that's what we do as high achieving go-getters, right? We have so many things that we're responsible for personally and professionally. I mean, your job, right? You could be a manager. You got to manage your team, manage yourself, and manage your managers, right? Then on the home front, you could have a spouse, you could have a partner, you could have kids, you could have animal kids, if you will. You could be active in your church. You can be super active in your community and civic organizations. Like, there's so many things that we allow ourselves to take on, and it could get heavy. It can get really, really, really heavy. And so if you imagine, like, instead of juggling balls, that you're juggling balls of yarn, right? And the more you juggle, the more the yarn gets different yarn pockets. Balls of yarn get interwoven and intertwined. It becomes a tangled mess over time, right? Because you're doing whatever you got to do to keep the bigger balls of yarn in the air. And what's happening down here is everything is becoming intermingled. And so what we do is begin to create the space, cut away what's not necessary, save and savor what is, to create that space and that peace of mind for you to be able to show up in the world and maneuver in a way that is healthy for you, where you have clear boundaries around your priorities, where you're letting some balls of yarn drop, right? Because you you choose not to do it all. I'm not gonna say you can't do it all, because I know my go-getters will buck back at me that I can do everything. I had a client say I can do all the things, and I'm like, yes, you can. However, how is that working out for you, right? So when you make a conscious decision to prioritize, and you say, like, I can do these things, some of these things are important and just not as important, and you begin to position yourself appropriately, it fosters peace of mind. So peace of mind comes at you from different ways, from knowing that, hey, I'm supported. Like, I have a partner in this thing, in my life coach, right? I have peace of mind because now um, I'm not being weighed down by all of these things and responsibilities that I have taken on over time to my own demise, right? So there's peace of mind baked into that too. So there is expanded self-awareness, There is a shift in the spaces that you take up. There is partnership and there is peace of mind. If any of these resonated with you, do me a favor and let me know which one in the comments. If you're here with me live, do me a favor and say, "Hey D," so that I know that you're here, please. And if you came in on the tail end of me running down the list of the four unassuming benefits of life coaching, you definitely want to go back and watch it from the top so that you can catch the meat of what I had to say around the four different benefits. And last but not least, like if this resonated with you and you're like, oh my goodness, she's on my pew and about to step on my toes, or maybe I've been tap dancing on your toes the whole time. Hey, listen, there's no judgment. Like I'm here for you. I'm here for you. And I want to invite you to book a free strategy session with me. You may have seen me talk about it before. Maybe this is your first time hearing about my free strategy sessions. But listen, please don't be out here suffering in silence, especially when there is support at your fingertips, right? So if you are an entrepreneur that still has a 9 to 5, right? You're still juggling that 9 to 5. That's one of your balls of yarn that's in the air. And you know that you won't be retiring from that organization, right? You know that you are called to do more. You're called for something bigger. You're called for something different. And you may be in a space where you're just not sure what that looks like. Or maybe you do have the vision, but like there's something keeping you from being able to confidently like quit, right? You wanna pivot, but at this point you want to pivot in purpose and get paid for it. If that's you, like let's have this conversation. Like time is ticking, right? And I believe in abundance. So I'm choosing my words carefully. But I want to say that if you are experiencing discomfort where you've been showing up, it's very likely because you have you're still showing up in a place in which your purpose assignment has been fulfilled, and it's time for you to go. So that's God's way of getting your attention. It's just like, no, no, I don't need you to get complacent here, right? I got something else for you to do. This isn't for everybody. This is not for everybody. I know, but I know that there are people who fit the criteria and who are experiencing what I just described to the T. And I'm coming for you because purpose is calling. There are people that are divinely assigned to you that are waiting for you to show up. And they can't get what it is that you're supposed to give them um, if you're still taking up space in the place in which your purpose assignment has expired. Like the math ain't mathing. That's what it comes down to. So I want to invite you to book a free strategy session. And if you happen to be watching, picking up what I'm putting down, maybe this isn't for you in this season, but you know someone who is constantly complaining about their job. You know they have a fixation with like entrepreneurship. They've dabbled in business. Share this with them. You never know whose breakthrough is tied to you. This could be your purpose assignment. If this isn't for you right now, it may be for somebody connected to you. So tap the share button and send it with them. If you want to book a strategy session, the link is pinned in the comments. I don't think I put it in the description, but it's pinned in the comments for sure. So all you gotta do is tap the link there, and yeah, I'll see you during your strategy session. If you caught the replay, do me a favor and type replay so that I know that you were here, and I'll come back through and show you some love. Night.